M249, long range, a bit ambitious, but that's alright. At least he managed to retreat while he receives a bit of damage. Now 7-9 needs to defend that ground against Talon. One by one, taken out by Talon. Siaran needs to come in. Siaran, very low on health. Sprays with his M4, but will still go down. Jaxi is there, however, to follow up. And Talon eliminated by 7-9. C2's position is compromised now. Alter Ego knows that he's there. Sends it across, will not connect. Moves into the other building with his trusty M4 and shotgun on the other hand. The X666, however, will be on the ground. 456 on the other side, keeping him hostage. Waiting for the other members of Alter Ego to come and save him. And here they are on their way.
A great maneuver overall coming from the rest of the arena. Now backing over onto the rest of these other players to really keep the rest of Alter Ego at bay, holding very defensively, while 456, after taking on that massive fight up against 4 tribes, they're feeling relatively confident on some of all these surroundings, which is why they're really hunkering down, pushing through these members of Alter Ego, and all they really have to do is try to fend them off by responding with nades of their own. My Long, though, going for some random sprays, just signaling some warning towards the rest of the arena.
Here is 456 sending a nade across. That nade will not connect, but from the side, NC2 comes in, knocking out Nylon. Looking for the other members. 456 shot from the side by Badru, but managed to evade it just in time. Now he has to heal up. While we shift forward to Alter Ego's perspective, it's Badru and Alva, the duo that has to do it right now against E Arena.
Yeah, it's just going to be a lot of back and forth going on, tree versus tree, it seems, at this moment. Badru, as well as his teammate, just holding on to nades after nades. And I'm quite afraid that these two teams are burning through their resources and not really yielding any form of returns. And see who, once again, going for a flank. He's been super pivotal in that last matchup up against 4 tribes. Can he do it again? Badru has already seeked out his position, so not as easy as they would like it to be.
Oh, and Badru, long range, M249. But, oh, okay. On another fight, same time. That's why we need that mini screen. We could use another third mini screen with all these fights happening as we shift back over to GLU squad.
You know, back in the early days of PlayStation, on certain games, you have 4 split screens if you're playing like racing games, and this kind of feels like it if we could actually get those kind of split. But of course, it is definitely heavy on the production side, so we make do with what we have. Try to reach right through as the arena further commit onto this one as they really pounce upon. It is one member knocked out on the feet, and once again, Badru holding strong, holding firm, taking 2 members down.
Okay, Badru fighting back, but then again, still lost that fight against E Arena. The final follow-up happened. E Arena survives that one. Now let's see, Team Secret can survive this one against GLU squad as they arrive here. KF with the DBS, and so the team is Stickley with SLK on the other side, and the incoming Noel as well. Typhoon. Here up against 2 players, but oh, 1 knockdown, and now it's a follow-up. Can he at least get another knockdown? Very low. Going to be Stickley. Typhoon just to find that right angle, but here comes the rest of Team Secret rushing in.
Wow, they're trading bodies over on the ground, and Team Secret, they got overwhelmed. What on earth just happened right there? I mean, they're just trading shell shots after shell shots, but it is TBS Hexas that's been able to put another victorious run for the side of GLU as they on the break. 8 points in for E Arena. Just moved past swiftly with his vehicle. Gonna be continuing on with the chase though, as we are looking at Kasih. Just by the outskirts, he's being helped out by the rest of the members of GLU. Now he's also trading right back, picking up that buggy in order to hightail out of it.
With RRQ closing the gap between them. And now here comes Sleepy, trying to buy enough time, trying to hold them off while his other teams position themselves across the map. Self from DJ Alliance going to fight off them of their own against GLU squad. And will be gunned down. Noel comes in from the other side as well. Cellcom DJ Alliance, Oleo together with Iftar will be the duo that has to do it while Ade Luke is calling up for help.
Ade Luke, how much more can he actually hold on to? Well, we do have Pekko actually nailing down majority of the members of Cellcom DJ Alliance. I guess.
See if we can actually land it onto any member of RRQ, but it's Lapar knocking down Supreme as a start. They also need to worry about the other member of RRQ, Berdinia? Man, it's so hard to pronounce that one. But anyway, Supreme will be finished off now, leaving Sleepy with only 20% of health. He needs to reposition himself while Sky is waiting on the other side, calling Sleepy to come towards him. But for Sleepy to come by,
Pretty much exchange with Lamar, trying to trade right back, but this two members, too much for Hora Esports to handle.
well, 4 points collected this round for Hora Esports. He should be still able to hold on to that number 1 spot. We're moving on to RRQ now. Now, after dealing with Hora Esports, they're dealing with Sem9, who's just right below them. Berdinia. Yeah, that will be how we'll pronounce it.
Berdinia? I don't know. But Vampire Esports, they managed to catch one out of Toda, where he's got nowhere else to move. So that's directly to the crosshair of the Thai team.
Oh, here comes a BTR charging onto E Arena. They know they have the main advantage right now after taking out a play of E Arena and 4-5-6. And with that, they made swift work of E Arena, eliminating them at number 8. But still, E Arena managed to score 8 eliminations.
Run. Meanwhile, good spray coming out of Schweppes. Finally, he's actually putting his real name. So he will be able to secure one more in the back. Vampire Esports on a roll, on a tear, but the rest of BTR have arrived to the scene to flush out Newsy. He's got to fall back, and even from behind, it's going to be Ella to be brought down by Razy.
Oh, and here comes Federales as well. They have Vampire Esports enclosed within. And now it's going to be Newsy, the final player for Vampire Esports. What can he do about this? Oh, Schweppes is still here. He's still alive. He's shooting from the other side. And they try to fire back. Foxy trying to get Schweppes, but within the smoke it's going to be kind of difficult. They're just shooting blindly within the smoke while Schweppes is navigating around the smoke itself, trying to get the members of BTR. And Schweppes finally caught up by BTR. And BTR cleanly wins this against Vampire.
That was such a scary squad to just rapping their way through. I mean, BTR, they're on another level of firepower right now, beelining their way, knowing for the fact that the rest of Vampires are just stuck underneath those quarters of the net. Now this might just be another exchange with the rest of RQ, trying to emulate what RQ have done to the rest of Vampires, but they don't really have all the manpower to actually flush them throughout. All they really have to do is to zone them out completely. So BTR has got a lot more work at hand. Lamar falls back, but he gets hit by KK. Well, he actually goes in for a 1-3-1 trade. It is 2 more members still left alive from the side of RRQ.
Oh, here comes RRQ with the Peko charging forward. Razy is picking up his teammate Sata, but he will not have that time. Sata is not being picked up. And now it's only down to Razy. Defend off against RRQ coming in, and Razy will be eliminated. RRQ wins the fight, bringing us to top 4.
Man, this lobby is getting so sweaty for today. RRQ, the king of kings, now showing how it's done. And boy, oh boy. Are there going to be enough votes for them to actually come by if they're not going to use the bridge? It really seems like it is going to be entirely for the rest of Reigns Esports to take over control while we continue on the fight. It's going to be Red Face that takes a la par. The Indonesians go at each other.
Well, here comes RRQ. They want to bulldoze their way through, but Sem9 is also around the corner still. And RRQ arriving in front of Claw. Bobo, who is pretty low. The Peko will charge in. Picking up his nade, trying to gather as much information as possible before lobbing it across. And they managed to land a bit of damage onto Red Face though. Red Face with his own nade as well. Sends it onto the Peko's side, but the Peko moved away. He's fine for now.
Yeah, it's just an all-out brawl coming in from the side of Claw Slayers, where they're pretty much segregated by the Pure itself. Whoever gets to win this one gets to claim that hovercraft, or I mean, that's actually a glider that's pretty much on top of that runway. That nade looking to be very close, and it hits directly to the face of Red Face.
And the Peko circles around. Probably wants to secure that elimination point against Red Face, but not making that approach yet as he waits for his other teammates to get into position. But Xavier and Sem9 fighting it off for their space to get into the circle. Something that we kind of expected though. Oh, Lamborghini is managing Vampire Esports as well. Okay, here comes Vampire Esports. They are somewhere around this area.
Yeah, and really being stopped by the tracks while Boom Esports is also pinning down members on the side of BTR. Wonder where that is actually happening because Crazy's already being taken off that list while Bird, but the body has been on while Peko has arrived to see catching on to two members of Claw players. For that long range raid and the rest of Claw tries to drive their way past this area while Bird is out to actually hold out. It's only him left for the side of RQ where he has to play it safe. If they have kept count, Claw Slayers might just be full sending it, but take a look at the back. They're also receiving heavy casualties, so they have to really set up really quickly because there's only 40 seconds before stage 3 closes.
Oh man, time is not on their side though. Look at the blue, it's arriving soon. And we're talking about stage 3 moving to stage 4. Vampire Esports, they're not out of it yet, with Newsy still here. With Face receiving damage from the blue. They still have some space to move forward though at the dock, but that's going to be their last space on the main peninsula. Everything else is going to surely end at the mid to the base. Newsy, they're trying to figure out how he's going to deal with D Xavier. Gets into his buggy. Maybe he'll just ignore D Xavier and focus on the crossing the bridge now.
Yeah, this circle is just so crazy. When we take a look at that leaderboard over on the right-hand side of the screen, more than half of the teams are actually battling over onto the blue zone. Newsy now committing as well up against the rest of Sem9. When I say rest of Sem9, there's only 2 players. Medkit now being popped from the side of U-High Boy, while we are seeing all these players struggling to actually get by. Venom still by the edge though. He's trying to hold out against 2 members of the Savior while Reigns Esports having Zio overlooking over onto the top end of the hill, playing the Kingmaker at the moment.
ASI-8 safely arrived on the base. The moment they arrive, they have Reigns Esports, aka APG, also passing by. But they are very familiar with mid to the base. They should be able to position themselves well. Coming back onto the area of Ferry Pier, Vampire Esports now facing stage number 4 of the blue. Newsy has 3 for them. Hopefully he has enough time to at least win this fight. Or maybe U-High will outlast him by healing. And U-High is out of first aids as well.
Yeah, he's got to really force some maneuvers right now. He's got 4 frag grenades. He will be putting it to good use before he actually drops out. So ASI-8, next one on the chopping block. It will falter on number 14. While FaZe Clan has been able to once again go for the pin up against the rest of BTR. Newsy's taking a while, getting himself healed up. He knows that it's a battle of attrition, and there goes U-High and the rest of Sem9.
And you, wait, RRQ here too? Wow, alright. Interesting to see how many teams have not made it into mid to the base, but Red Face made it happen. Now they should have an entry into mid to the base itself.
Majority of BTR. BTR that with one while the rest of them are just scrapping right through down to Gante. Can he actually hustle them out of this control room? Well, he is definitely handling it perfectly. Gante wipes them all off the floor.
And DRS secures their position. But next to them is now Federalis. Federalis alone though, the final player for BTR. Unless he can lob a beautiful nade into DRS, then perhaps he can come up with something big. But Claw, no boat means they have to swim across. And if you swim across, this might happen. Top will play the fishing game, and he'll be happily on this hill, just tapping away onto whatever targets they can see moving.
That's right, and they're already doing a lot of massive damage over onto the members of Claw Esports, despite up till now, Reigns have yet to actually score those points just yet. Zio, however, does actually secure the first one as he will. And
their regular drop spot, so they're now fighting for dominance in this area. But the nade by Sleepy knocked out, and next ZZ. Ayuk sends the nade across as well. As Ayuk as well as Axel defending Talon Esports, and from the side, Axel spots out Sleepy, puts him down to sleep.
Perfect maneuvers coming in from the side of Axel. Now all down to Sky, the MVP of 4 Esports so far, to be able to clutch it all out. big damage being done. I'm not too sure if he could actually handle the pressure any longer because they're currently having 3 members hunting him out. We're on to the back of the restaurant. We got a couple of smokes left. Tries to cover his track. Trying to bait them to come up close and personal. And even despite so, I think that won't actually see him coming up and Typhoon to be able to supplement on the engagement. Here it goes. Elder Eagle for 4-2, crashing right through the gate. And EX 666 makes it a swift work.
You might see it though. But looks like, okay, Tora will not be engaging with anyone. Oh, but maybe Alter Ego is still coming in. Okay, here we go. As Alter Ego passing by, and Peko gets Badru. Badru will be finished off immediately by Scam. Tora secured that one elimination point. Looking for more out of Alter Ego. As Alter Ego to try to drive away, but unfortunately not able to. BX 666 will be knocked down. Hung up the drive. Peko will lock in the point.
That was so smooth coming in from Peko. We last saw him actually swerving to the side, dodging both of the buggies at the same time, and then recommit, get that repeat, and that's how they actually shut down majority of the brought upon some of the members of wow, even with the 180 jump. So I don't think that the rest of Toda is interested to fully engage once more.
And they will lose Brian, very likely. I don't see any other members of Toda coming in to save him. And RQ, at least they will surely secure this one extra point. The Peko just making sure that nobody is behind that vehicle still. And there goes the point to the hands of RP. Needed. The circle will move away, but we'll keep that on for stage number 5. Right now, it's going to be Vampire Esports against Trapper Messi. They managed to secure the elimination point against Venom. By the edge of this circle, this will give them a clearance to be there. While inside Rawson, look at the amount of teams here. Let's say hello to Talon.
Talon Esports now driving to the free, dodging that grenade, and he is looking to seek out, but he couldn't really clear that tight corner, unfortunately. Still buying a little bit more time, and he's attracting a lot of attention. The rest of Talon has to fall through. Oh, Typhoon just swings out and finds him instead.
Well, Secret is busy with Talon as well still, and Typhoon eliminated. Talon secures that compound.
Right now, they do have a little bit more of that priority by taking this compound because it is going to be one part of a very focal point where it does stop points. 4 tribes now locking out the entirety of Blue Sprout from entering the city. Absolute dark point. While Pins be able to get some glimpse out of Blue. Only a few of the members thus far. Not too sure about the rest. While the members of GLU, they're pretty much pinched at the back with a nade being tossed right in from T24 that actually secures it. And from the back, Oleo actually stole away the points against 4 tribes.
And 4 Thrive.
There are still teams coming from the south side that they have to take care of. So what do they realistically do? Well, I guess there's a little bit of answer as to what BTR wants. They want the head of Firen.
Well, they want Firen, but they also have to deal with Mika and Yuhai on the other side. Both of them spread out in different areas of Rozok. Or at this compound at least. While Alvar is looking over at this compound area. But Vikings in a fight against 4 Thrives. Firen knocked down by Federalis. Now they need to focus on the Mika and Yuhai.
Yuhai just going on pro. Didn't manage to leap in for that split second, and Gatti comes in, goes in for a very quick trade. Federalis actually got pretty much a good setup thanks to them getting baited out by their own.
That makes sense since the circle is towards that north side, but that's bad news for Scam being the final player of Dota all alone in the warehouse. While Talon eliminated by Nox.
Perform on a natural habitat. While the rest of 4 tribes, they take the yellow compound while they manage to also find that pin. Wow, that was on top of count while Pekko has to bail out of the situation. So they got to slowly navigate their way around. While it's going to be Boxing getting the 5th kill, and here comes Naki. Sprays after sprays, and that will pretty much knock out the rest of 4 tribes.
And put them in a position of domination with 5 elimination points at least for 4 tribes. And 4 tribes right now dealing with BTR. They found Razy by the side. Taking out Razy. And still behind BTR. But Voxy will be knocked down. Okay, here comes 4 tribes to finish off BTR as they try to rotate away. But the moment they try to rotate away from 4 tribes, they will bump into Alter Ego. Alvar is there showing himself. Now 4 tribes knows that it's not only BTR here, but also Alter Ego.
Fair enough, and here we go. Big nades landed from the side of Alva. This could actually open up a little bit more of that spacing while KK is trying to seek out if he could actually form up with his teammate. But he is going to take a leap of faith because Alva has got him exposed. He cannot afford to even go in for a rescue, but Federalis, he's bleeding very, very quickly, and those points will now slowly be secured by Alter Ego.
Ooh, Sakai is here though. On top of this here, he sees Alva and he will punish Alva for stopping them in their rotation. Taking it out, eliminating Alter Ego at number 6, now down to top 5 teams, 4 tries. They want to finish up the job against BTR, but here comes the Vikings against Celcom DJ Alliance with Iftar knockdown.
Here comes Ati now pushing right through, and not quite enough to take out Foxy just yet, but this actually had a chain reaction erupting. AK now having those nades, killing right through while he had the side of Balak. He's dropping onto the wrong direction, but it will be the rest of 4 tries to be able to fall across. Lucky now goes down. Oh, this is going to be a close one with Satar yet again popping off, going on a dominating spree.
Ooh, okay. Could Satar be the man of the hour, but he's to heal up first. But he's not able to heal up in time. For luck, we'll make sure that he goes down. That's going to be 4 tries here right in front. That's like if you're like one of the page 1 teams, then sure, you can just go for placements and you'll be fine. But if you're at 23, it's about catching up the points, and you have to find a way to bring in the elimination points. Just like how Faceland is doing right now by knocking down Racing.
Yeah, true enough. And if you can recall, well, we're having a little bit of a brawl outside of the water treatment. It is going to be Claw versus the rest of RRQ. Very familiar opponents for either side as they both duke on each other, which is Indonesian rivalry. While Nuzi goes in. You are jumping over on for this new touchdown Tama, and they're coming with a full set. Tony K arrives to the scene, but it is him being sent out very swiftly. So down now. For a recovery run was he does spot out Schweppes on the other corner, trying to secure Nuzi in return and brings Chama back to life.
And that is Vampire Esports out. Unfortunately, number 15, no points at all this time. About a mini screen. You're seeing RRQ in a fight with another team. It looks like Claw. Hopefully get a better view soon. Fight continues on somewhere else while DRS recovering from the fight against Vampire Esports. At the roadside.
Yeah, speaking of which, this is where Red Face actually cuts right across, where the rest of the party just cuts over onto the creases of the window pane just to shut him down. RRQ being determined that is going to be free real estate. Meanwhile, more and more teams driving into Oasis. Finally, we get to see them having a little bit of field time in the waters.
That includes the Vikings. Now BTR. Drake is driving by. Satar tries to stop them from the side, but they managed to crash in though. Now the Vikings, they got break here, but he's taking a lot of damage from the molly, down to 50% of health. Superman from the outside cooking up his nade. For break, which is that's okay. 5 bullets in the barrel. Break jumps into the building. He needs to reload. Sends a molly across to buy him a little bit more time for him to reset, but Break will be knocked out from the side by Foxy.
Wow, great engages coming in as Foxy having to hold a perfect line of defense. Now that breaks apart the rest of MVKE's positioning. Slowly getting isolated. Now that grenade's also falling right in. Perfect lob coming from Federalis. And just like that, all that hustle has been botched out by the rest of the Vikings. Only one member remained. So Federales secures it, adding more of all these points back to BTR side as they will now be moving deeper into the top 10.
And Dota as well, they're not too far. Yet they're not in a hurry though. As long as they can have this high ground for themselves, they'll be fine. But Boy Donkey is going to share the other side of high ground though. Tyler is trying to climb up. Zeta cooking this nade. It's going to be a short toss for him onto the corner. But Zeta mollied and naded down instead.
Great read coming from Talon Esports. Right now, the rest of Boy Donkey, they got to move all the way back up to the hillside because the rest of Talon is chasing on their kills. Very Zach Kenny Evans able to find any from an angle. Instead, he gets shut down. Things again coming in from the side of Talon Esports. Actually, now tries to fall back as the Molotovs are just flipping onto the majority of them. The health bars are falling really low, but the rest of Boy Donkey have been shut out with only 1 point secured.
Fight's not over yet at this hill area. Talon and ASI8 now. As Ayuk will be reviving his teammates. ASI8 to try to close the gap. But Todak's here as well. Okay. They have to deal with 2 different teams. 3 teams basically at this hill area, including Real.
Yeah, Real. He's got to really fall back. This could be a really good chance so long as Todak allow all these teams to fight towards these corners of the map. They can still squeeze into the top 5, so they don't really have to participate. But judging from this situation, they cannot afford to also trail too far behind because BTR is somewhere within the Oasis. Nate now coming in. As Siaran pushes up the hillside, ASI8 are trying to rampage them throughout, but Talon Esports, as they are, there will be a drop shot coming from the side of Casanova to be able to deter that advancing push coming from Talon Esports.
Oh, but here comes Space Clan. At the top of that hill, UZM will be eliminated by Real. Real steals away that point.
Claiming the compounds just yet. Slum while the rest of members of ASI8 relies on Casanova to try to pull off a heroic exchange, but knock is all that there is. It is still going to be a tough descent for the rest of FaZe Clan. I mean, they've reaped the rewards. They have gotten many of all these points, but I think the biggest benefactor has been Talon Esports because they've already secured 9 points, and now it is just rough because YBF has already been sniffed out. FaZe Clan still gets the upper hand in those trades, 7 points so far. It's so hard to actually flush BTR out of that position. And
Maybe Talon, maybe DRS, maybe Dota to deal with them first.
true enough, well, it's going to be shot for QQ. Getting another one in the back for the side of FaZe Clan. We finally move into our top 5 after a long hustle. As we're looking at all these teams trying to get into the center of the zone. FaZe Clan did match to
This one. Another potential storyline of a Pace 3 team to do well. And maybe Dota will be a strong contender in the top 16.
True enough. But that also requires a few things to happen in this matchup. DRS, FaZe Clan, as well as BTR to be dueling each other so that a lot of all these pressure to be relieved from the side of that in order to claim more of that space. So far, Delta is being sent upward to try to go in for a peek, and they did manage to spot out the low ranger coming in from the side of Vikings. Now as battle is up, big pop right there, and Scab! He takes that opportunity to strike, but instead, Shopper QQ spots him out, and that will be the elimination of Todak as they were pretty much sniffed out the moment that they returned the fire up against FaZe Clan.
I worried that we just jinxed them. Oh well, it is what it is. But the fight will continue on right now with the player at the northern side, the final player of Vikings. Now FaZe Clan moves forward. The moment they did that, DRS took them out, eliminating them at number 4, down to the top 3 teams. DRS with 3 players going up against 2. Wow, production could be right here, but it's not over to Contra Sings. Anything could happen here with Wunti in the middle of this fight. Sata will be putting focus on the Wunti. Wunti on the lower ground. Sata comes in with SLK, not able to land his shot cleanly yet.
Sure if I have the energy to save, but I do have the energy to actually scream for a DRS. who's going on a rampage to close off the series of the day. And wow.